radiative balance between the Earth and the Sun. And the scientists who study global warming gained a lot of their expertise by looking at the other planets in the solar system. And Mars has just 1% of the Earth's atmosphere, and the temperature is not 15 degrees centigrade or 59 Fahrenheit. It's 55 below zero on average because the CO2 doesn't trap the heat. Venus, by contrast, has much more CO2, and the temperature is above the boiling point of lead, and it rains sulfuric acid. Not the kind of weather forecast you want to see in the morning. And it's not because Venus is closer to the Sun, because it's much hotter than Mercury, even though Mercury's right next to the Sun. It's the CO2. This is extremely well established, well understood, and well known. Senator Boxer, I want to start off by saying that there's really hardly any way to overestimate or overstate the degree of hope that people out in our country have because of what you're doing, because of what this new Senate and Congress, everybody hopes will do. This is not a normal time. We are facing a planetary emergency. And I'm fully aware that that phrase sounds shrill to many people's ears, but it is accurate. The relationship between humankind and planet Earth has been radically altered in a very short period of time. And what would make us believe that we could go through these changes and not have an impact on the planet? We've quadrupled human population in less than 100 years, from 1.6 billion in 1900 to 6.56 billion today. And that's stabilizing of its own accord as girls are educated and women are empowered and girls and women gain literacy, and as family planning that's culturally acceptable is made more widely available in every nation. And most importantly, as infant mortality goes down and maternal and infant health standards go up, the death rates come down first, and then after a few years the birth rates come down, and the population of the Earth is stabilizing. But with a 4 times increase in less than a century, our impact on the planet has been dramatically changed. Secondly, and more importantly, the technologies we have at our disposal today are thousands of times more powerful than any that our grandparents had available to them. And that makes all of our activities more effective and productive, but it also makes us sometimes like the proverbial bull in a china shop, and we're capable of doing damage that we're not always fully aware that we're doing. And of course, the common assumption is the Earth is so big we couldn't possibly have impact on it. But the most vulnerable part of the Earth's ecological system, the scientists tell us, is the atmosphere. It's so thin, the number of molecules is known. They say it's 10 to the 44, which is above my pay grade, but sounds like a big number. But compared to what we're able to put into it every hour of every day now, it's not that big. Just a few miles from here to the top of the sky before we can't breathe anymore. And so we're changing its composition. We're putting 70 million tons every day of this global warming pollution into the Earth's atmosphere. And as you noted, Madam Chair, 25 million tons go into the oceans every day. And that's literally making the oceans more acidic. But where the atmosphere is concerned, that extra CO2 is retaining in the atmosphere much more of the outgoing infrared that normally escapes back into space and keeps the normal healthy balance within which humankind has developed and within which all of our civilization has evolved, and all the cities have been located, and all the ports and the places where the rain can be predicted to fall reliably enough for agriculture. And we're putting all those patterns at risk. The 10 the hottest years ever measured in the record have been since 1990. 20 of the 21 hottest years have been in the last 25 years. The hottest year of all was 2005. The hottest year of all in the U.S. was 2006. The hottest winter ever measured worldwide was this winter, December, and then January and February of this year, last month. This is going on right now. And it's continuing to increase. And the scientific leaders of the world have given us the fourth unanimous report in less than 15 years. They gathered this time in Paris 6 weeks ago. And they said the evidence supporting this consensus is, and I quote them, unequivocal. Unequivocal. Scientific American had a special issue in September that began with an article that said the debate on global warming is over. The editor-in-chief of Science magazine said, it's extremely rare to have a consensus as strong as the one supporting the consensus view on man-made global warming. It's real. We're causing it mainly, vast majority of it. The consequences are bad and will be catastrophic unless we act. We can act. We can solve it. There's still time. And we have everything we need to get started. Those points are in agreement. One of the leading scientific experts said the consensus supporting this view on global warming is as strong as anything in science, with the possible exception of gravity. This is a challenge to our moral imagination, because the natural tendency for me, for all of us, is to think that something this big and this challenging is not real. We don't want it to be real. It's hard to think about. Contemplating changes to deal with it automatically creates a feeling of discomfort. We just wish it would go away. It's not going away. We've got to deal with it. And as I started to say, Madam Chair, the people out there in our country are so hopeful that this Senate will act and that this Congress will act. And they know how hard it is. I want you to know that there's a big change in public opinion that's building out there. I'm going to deliver to your offices. I didn't bring all the boxes with me from the House side where I spoke this morning, but they're being delivered electronically to your offices. We just started asking, I have a site called algore.com, and just a few days ago we started asking